પહેલી રોટલી ગાયને માટે, છેલ્લી રોટલી કૂતરાને માટે. રોટલી બનાવતા જે આટો વધે છે, લોટ વધે છે, એને આપણે આપણા એના ટુકડા કરીને જળની અંદર માછલીઓને માટે રોજે રોજ પધરાવવા માટે જતા હોય છે. આ આપણી પરંપરા છે. મતલબ ઝીરો હંગરની વાત ખૂબ આદિકાળથી અત્યાર સુધી આવી છે. પરંતુ એક પ્રશ્ન છે, અત્યાર સુધી પણ આ એક સમસ્યા બનીને ઊભી છે આપણી સામે આ વાત. તો શા માટે એનું કોઈ સોલ્યુશન કરી શકીએ? જ્યાં સુધી આપણે બીજા પર ડિપેન્ડ હોઈશું ત્યાં સુધી કોઈ પણ સમસ્યા સોલ્વ નહીં થાય. આત્મનિર્ભરતાની દિશામાં જો આપણે વધવું હોય તો અનિવાર્ય છે એકે એક પ્રશ્નને આપણે જાતે શરૂઆત કરીએ એનું નિવારણ કરવા માટે. મારી જાતને જો હું કહેતી હોઉં, આ એકે એક ગોલ છે સામે બેઠા છે એ બધાને એક જકડી રાખે છે આ સમસ્યા, હંગરની સમસ્યા. આખું વિશ્વ, આખું ભારત પ્રગતિની દિશામાં ઉડવામાંથી રહ્યું છે આકાશમાં. પરંતુ બંધાયેલા પાંખે મયુર ઉડસોના ગગનમાં, બંધાયેલા કે અહીંયાના લોકો ચોખાને ઉગાડે છે, જવને ઉગાડે છે. તો એને કારણે એમની સંસ્કૃતિ પણ જળવાઈ રહી છે, એમની આવશ્યકતાઓ પણ જળવાઈ રહી છે. કોઈએ ભૂખ્યા સૂવું પડતું નથી. તો આત્મનિર્ભરતાની દિશામાં દરેક વ્યક્તિ પોતે પોતાનો આવશ્યકતા અનુસાર સંગ્રહ કરે. વધારે પડતી સંગ્રહખોરી પણ બીજાને માટે નુકસાનકારક છે. એટલે સંગ્રહખોરી છોડીએ, આત્મનિર્ભર બનીએ અને ભૂખ્યાને ભોજન આપવું એ આપણો ધર્મ જ છે. વિચાર આપણે કરી રહ્યા છે. નીલમબેનને ખૂબ ખૂબ અભિનંદન એન્ડ થેન્ક યુ. મારા વિચારોને અહીંયા આગળ હું રજૂ કરી શકી છું.
Yeah, so on SDG 3, health and well-being, a lot has been done, a lot more needs to be done. Till date, we have talked about health in terms and context of disease and body. Now it's time to work on the mind and soul. We have superb infrastructures, bigger hospitals, and so many things. As a gynecologist, still the newborn which we have been coming to our country, the developed country, they are losing 4 to 6 mother against 1 lakh live birth. India has many states, we are losing more than 400 women against 1 lakh live births. We need to work. How can we work? Bigger hospitals? Not only that the solution. The public-private partnership, and the power is within. We need to be mindful. And we look up to you, youth, with great power within. And if you take charge of your emotions, a lot can be done. Health is not mere absence of disease. The social taboo of mental health needs to be broken very well now. It's high time. And being mindful along with a statement that interbeing is the way of cosmic order. And that's 60 seconds.
Good morning. Once again, good morning. One is inclusivity. So while we talk about financial inclusion a lot in terms of banking and economy, here I am talking about inclusivity in terms of education. And the second dimension of sustainable development goal and education
goal is an outcome of a Brundtland Commission report. So while we talk about the contribution of women in development, I think we can start with the word sustainable. And I am very happy and proud that hardly any academic panel is like that, where women are in minority. Because I must congratulate your organizers that it's not just while we talk about the gender and gender equality, it's not that just we are protecting the rights of one gender, right? My point of view regarding the equality is we don't, in 1975, the first International Women Conference held. So after the human development or the human rights report in 19 area of a concern as well. Because we think that education can change the scenario, we think that legal framework can change the scenario, but while we go to the parliament, to the judges or the press room, the three important pillars of a democracy, the women representation is still a big question mark. So, women and men competition is not there. We are different. But let us celebrate those differences. And we don't need the favor, we need the equal opportunity, because we want to develop and we need the sustainable development. And I strongly feel that where women is a backward country and society will remain backward. So it's all about the togetherness, not just protecting the right of one gender. Thank you very much.
I apologize for the interruption. For the 15th goal, Life on Land, we have Professor Bharat Maitreya, Department of Botany, Bioinformatics and Climate Impacts Management, School of Sciences, Gujarat University. I would request Dr. Neelam Panchal ma'am to felicitate Sir with memento and case. Thank you, ma'am. We'll resume now the round table of discussion.
नमस्कार नमस्कार धन्यवाद। क्या आप सब पढ़ सकते हैं जोर से?
Yes, sir.
Clean water and sanity. ये मेरा टॉपिक है और इससे पहले स्टार्ट करने से पहले कुछ आंकड़ों पे बात करते हैं। You know how much percentage of a body is water? 70%. And how much percentage of Earth's surface is covered with water?
Same topic here.
97.5% to be precise, right? And how much of water of the balance is drinkable, clean water? Sorry? 0.3% is water which you can consume but not clean enough. So while I'll discuss these data points when my turn will come in, I wanted to leave these questions with you, these data points with you, to ponder your thoughts along with when we discuss this topic in details. More importantly, it's not just a clean water we need, because this is a human right, it's the basic human right of every one of us, right? And along with clean water, we also need a sanitization. And that's again a right for us, and hygiene. So these are the three elements one should have, and all these things go hand in hand. May it be a poverty, may it be a hunger, inequality, and participation. All these things are knitted together as jewels, you know. So what we need to do is we need to look into this particular subject not individually, rather as a whole, right? And it cannot be, as one of our co-panelists has said, this is not something which is government's job. It is something which each one of us has to become a stakeholder in it. If we will not become, then these things are not going to be in our control. We are already running late. If you look at the data points in the last 10 years, as far as clean water is concerned, our clean water availability for us, the efficiency of use is also degraded a lot. So all these questions are something which we need to surface together today, understand the importance in our life individually, and what is that we're going to transfer to our next generations is something which we'll discuss now when our term will come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Energy is the backbone of any social or economic activity. If you need to understand the importance of energy, the moment you shut down the lights of this room, then you will feel the importance of energy. Let me share a couple of facts. Today we are fortunate to have such a very lighted room. We are sitting here. But there are 733 million people worldwide who do not have access to energy. And this number still by 2030, still it will be more than 300 billion. So still I think we need to work on a lot to reach to the last people who is maybe staying in some remote area. Second thing, we talk about the energy efficiency. Still, we need to work a lot on this. Because today, if you look at our energy efficiency, we are having only 1.9%, which we need to make it 3.2% by 2030. That is the energy efficiency target we set. Another thing is very important in this area is the contribution of renewables. Because today what you see, the energy that we consume, it is largely from the coal, oil, gas. And for producing this energy, we are somewhere compromising with the other sustainable development goal. Like a very next goal is the climate action or the climate. Because we are actually hampering that. So by utilizing renewable energy, we could do something in the area of climate as well as the affordable and clean energy. I don't say affordable right now, the renewable energy, but yes, I think people like you who will do a lot of innovation and probably with the scales that we could achieve the lower cost of the renewable energy. Right now we have only 20% contribution of the renewable energy in the overall energy basket. And I think we still need to go a lot. No doubt, our government is doing a lot of push into that area by giving a lot of incentive for the rooftop solar or maybe some other things. And as our university, like I belongs to a Pandit Deenayal Energy University. In fact, we have a 9 center of excellences, wherein 3 center of excellences, 1/3 of the total center of excellences, we are working towards this renewable energy, either climate change or either the bioenergy sort of things. So we as a university are trying hard to contribute towards the affordable and clean energy. And that's where, everyone has to work on that. Today, the most of the energy which you use in the cooking, like we use the gas. But if you look at the rural part of India, the rural part of the world, I think still there are many people who are using the traditional energies and which actually give a lot of pollution to the country. So friends, I think in my opening remarks, I tell you, we have a very long way to go to work towards the affordable and clean energy. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoying all the SDGs, right? बहुत सारा सीख लिया, है ना? ज़्यादा हो गया. 17 है पूरे, अभी तो 8वें पे आए हो. कैसे काम करेगा? So that energy level has to be there. वो तो हमने कल तो खत्म थोड़ी ना किया. So कल तो और energize हुए ना. So with that energy, मुझे क्या टॉपिक मिला? क्या मिला? अब decent economic growth, right? Decent work and economic growth, वो कहाँ से आएगी? कल तो हमने सीखा था. कल के सेशन में क्या हुआ था? The chief guest, he spoke about certain things, right? And in that, he talked about ये क्या था, सब साथ चलेंगे. एक बहुत ही अच्छी पब्लिक पॉलिसी पे बात हुआ था. So the one policy he asked about, what was that?
National Rural Employment Guarantee Act.
Moderator.
So हम तो वो काम कर रहे हैं ना already. So UN ने सोचा 2030 तक ऐसा करेंगे, वैसे करेंगे. तो भारत तो वैसे ही अग्रणी है. So we have been already doing. This is one of the a very small example he has given yesterday. And undoubtedly, when we are talking about economic growth, we are talking about decent work for everybody. It is for every section of the society, right? And जब हम इस तरह की बात कर रहे हैं, decent work की बात कर रहे हैं, और economic growth की बात कर रहे हैं, upliftment की बात कर रहे हैं, so that comes from the very first segment, that is youth. From the youth, right? From the youth, and what are we doing, how are we contributing? See the basic theories and everything, it's quite available in Google also, and you have been already doing it. कल भी आप लोगों ने paper presentations इतना किया था. So all these goals we have been already talking about. So what I'm saying is that how can we contribute, that is important. We need to fix our responsibilities to achieve certain goals. So if I'm talking about this goal number 8, when we are talking about economic growth and decent work for everyone, तो economic growth सबके लिए एक जैसा एक साथ, वो कहते हैं हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने आके क्या बोला था, सबसे पहली लाइन क्या थी उनकी, सबका साथ और सबका विकास. The moment we have that सबका साथ और सबका विकास, we will be definitely achieving that. And how to achieve that सबका साथ सबका विकास लेकर जब हम आगे बढ़ने की बात करते हैं, so that is ISTD is also doing, and Gujarat University in various platforms we are also doing. So coming into this regular employment for everybody, I'm just giving you an example. We are launching, rather we are working on youth and entrepreneurship a lot, and we are creating employment for the youth basically. How? क्या हुआ था कोविड में पिछले दिनों, we have gone through the pandemic times. So what happened? Many people they lost their jobs, they lost their families also and everything. So when we talk about economic growth की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, now today in 23 when we are talking about, we are living in which world now? VUCA world. We are into VUCA world right now, and still things are like unstable है ना. अभी 2 महीना पहले क्या हुआ था, फिर से मास्क पहन लीजिए, ये कर लीजिए. So वो सब unstability जहाँ बनी हुई है, so to what makes the important role? The major role comes of your knowledge. So that knowledge जो आपके अंदर develop करना है, that we are developing and you are going to gain that knowledge, will definitely reach us to this total productive employment also. And then once you have this productive employment के लिए क्या करना है? We need to devise certain policies. Policies can be framed with this public policy department. You are sitting here, you all are the students, you are going to create, basically we are talking and we are just discussing, but you guys are studying it and you are the future leaders. And once you are learning all this, and definitely the policies which will be there. Yesterday's chief guest he's doing one of the great job in his profile. So वो सब जो हम अभी नई पॉलिसीज को डिवाइस करना है, और हम बात कर रहे हैं जब और एम्प्लॉयमेंट की, रेगुलर एम्प्लॉयमेंट, सभी के लिए एम्प्लॉयमेंट, एंड देन इंक्लूसिव वर्ड तो बहुत रेगुलरली यूज हो ही रहा है. सो व्हाट इज दैट इंक्लूसिव? मैम ने बताया वुमेन, वी टॉक्ड अबाउट वुमेन ऑल्सो मच. सो हम हैं तो सही, लेकिन हम इक्वली पेड नहीं हैं ऐसा कहा जाता है. आर वी? Do you really think so? ये किताबों में पढ़ते हैं ना तब अच्छा लगता है, बट एक्चुअली ऐसा है नहीं मैम. आजकल तो महिलाएं ज़्यादा पाती हैं, महिलाएं ज़्यादा कहती हैं. रादर मैन हैज़ टू से हमारे साथ तो इनइक्वालिटी वाला प्रॉब्लम है. इज इज हैपनिंग और नॉट? मेरे घर पे तो होता है, लाइक 4 sisters and 1 brother. My brother used to say मेरे को नहीं मिलता है. It happens. So, जब हम इक्वालिटी की बात कर रहे हैं और इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ की बात कर रहे हैं, एक प्रोडक्टिव एम्प्लॉयमेंट होना चाहिए. सबको एम्प्लॉयमेंट तो हम नहीं देंगे, बट प्रोडक्टिव एम्प्लॉयमेंट इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो अंडर दिस गोल आई मस्ट से, मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे कोट करना चाहती हूँ, विच वी आर ऑलरेडी वर्किंग अपॉन. we are trying to create that skilling ecosystem. You heard about skilling ecosystem, you know, the new education policy which has been launched in 2020, and now we are, in the process of implementation is going to be started. So we are focusing on more skilling. So जब हम स्किलिंग की बात करें तो हम बच्चों को, बड़ों को हर सेगमेंट में, चाहे वो वुमेन है, चाहे वो कोई किसी भी सेगमेंट में हम देख रहे हैं, सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू गिव देम दोज स्किल्स एंड वी आर वर्किंग फॉर दैट. आई मस्ट से ISTD is coming up with a great platform where we are going to create 1,000 skilled entrepreneurs in next 6 months. And that is our first thing which we are launching. We are going to have 100 master trainers, and these master trainers are going to create skill entrepreneurs. और ये skill entrepreneurs कहाँ से आएंगे? आप लोगों में से आने वाले हैं. Where we are going to help you out with certain, the loan facility also, and you will be given a platform in certain universities like Gujarat universities and some other Nirma universities. हम आपका platform भी use करने वाले हैं. So all these universities will give you a space. Now this why I'm talking it, ये मुझे आज बोलना नहीं था. It is somehow I'm going beyond this. But still, let me mention, you need to bring those students. ठीक है, today you are studying, but there are many friends of yours who have been already dropped out. So for them also we are coming up with this, and this is going to be one of the major scheme where हम उनको employment, but productive employment के साथ we are going to achieve. We are going to give a bit achieving this goal for decent work and इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ. इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ कब आ रही है? जब आपको एक रेगुलर और प्रोटेक्टिव एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिलने वाला है. सो आपको पता है कि अब चलिए अभी मैं अपने स्टाइल में आपकी बात खत्म करूं. ऐसे बोलो, ऐसे सुनना चाहते हो? सो मेनी फोन कॉल्स करें. चलो छोड़ो, अभी तो सेकेंड राउंड आएगा तब बोलेंगे, राइट? चलो, थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू मैम, एंड थैंक यू मैम फॉर अवेकनिंग एवरीबडी इन द हॉल. और नमस्ते दोस्तों. थोड़े साल पहले चले अपन, 6वीं 7वीं 8वीं क्लास में जब अपन थे, एक दोहा पढ़ा था, जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, अब हरि है मैं नहीं. लेकिन कंट्रोवर्सी देखो, कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन देखो. मुझे आज आई पे बोलना है, और वो भी एक आई पे नहीं, 4 आई पे. आई फॉर इंडस्ट्री, आई फॉर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, एंड आई फॉर इनोवेशन. हुई ना कंट्रोवर्सी? लेकिन 2 उदाहरण अभी आपने देखे यहाँ पे. एक इनोवेशन का उदाहरण देखा आपने ये प्रोग्राम शुरू होने से पहले, और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर आप यूज कर रहे हो, और इंडस्ट्री का रिजल्ट हमें चारों तरफ देखने को मिलता है. लेकिन यहाँ हम आज इसलिए इकट्ठा हुए हैं कि हम ये डिस्कस करें कि 2030 तक के लिए हमारे जो टारगेट्स हैं उनमें से हमने कितने अचीव किए हैं, कितने अचीव करना बाकी है, अगर डिस्टेंस ज्यादा है तो वो क्यों है, क्या चैलेंजेस हैं. तो तब आती है बात चौथे आई की, एंड दैट इज इन्वेस्टमेंट. चाहे वो इंडस्ट्री हो, चाहे वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हो, चाहे वो इनोवेशन हो, ये तीनों संभव नहीं है अगर इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं हो. और इन्वेस्टमेंट हो और ये तीनों फले फूले तो डेफिनेटली सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट का सपना हमारा साकार होगा, इंक्लूसिविटी का सपना हमारा साकार होगा, और सबका साथ सबका विकास वाली जो बात है वो धरातल पर हमको देखने को मिल पाए. कुछ आंकड़े बड़े चौंकाने वाले हैं. अगर हम भारत के परिप्रेक्ष्य में बात करें तो भारत के जो कुल 28 राज्य और 7 केंद्र शासित प्रदेश हैं, उनमें से 100% अचीवमेंट 0%। एक भी स्टेट और यूटी ने अभी तक इस गोल पे पर्टिकुलरली 100% गोल अचीव नहीं किया है। अब बात करें कि फ्रंट रनर कितने स्टेट्स हैं। फ्रंट रनर को डिफाइन किया गया है कि जिन्होंने 65 to 99% गोल अचीव किया हो। तो हमारे यहाँ का हाईएस्ट फिगर है 72%, और 72% में जो 2 राज्य सबसे आगे हैं वो है दिल्ली और गुजरात। तीसरी कैटेगरी आती है परफॉर्मर की, कि जो कोशिश कर रहे हैं अच्छे से, और वो है नो स्टेट्स। आगे के राउंड में हम चर्चा करेंगे वो नो स्टेट कौन कौन से। लेकिन अभी भी 21 राज्य और केंद्र शासित प्रदेश ऐसे हैं जो एस्पायरेंट की कैटेगरी में, जो पास तो होना चाहते हैं लेकिन परीक्षा के दिनों में ही मेहनत करते हैं, जो रैंक तो लाना चाहते हैं लेकिन कोशिश करते हैं कि एग्जामिनेशन हॉल में कैसे गूगल का इस्तेमाल किया जाए। तो बात करेंगे हम बहुत डिटेल में, बहुत अच्छे से। कुछ वैश्विक फिगर भी मैं आपको बता देता हूं और अपनी बात खत्म करता हूं। बिफोर कोविड-19 हमारा जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ग्रोथ था वो एकदम से ड्रॉप हुआ था, और ड्रॉप होने का जो कारण था वो था टैरिफ्स एंड ट्रेड टेंशंस among various countries and within the countries among various states. Then the second most affected industry थी वो थी एविएशन। एविएशन में सबसे ज्यादा गिरावट देखी गई, और गिरावट का जो परसेंट था, एनी गेसेस, 51%. It reduced to 51% of its previous performance. और जहां हम बात करते हैं, अभी आप सब लोगों के हाथों में मोबाइल है, and I was observing most of you were surfing and listening, multitasking. आजकल तो मल्टीटास्किंग का जमाना है, तो ज्यादातर लोग या तो व्हाट्सएप पे थे या फेसबुक पे थे या ट्विटर पे थे, और कान इधर लगा रखा था कि आज चलो बैठे तो सुनना तो पड़ेगा नहीं। तो कुछ और आंकड़ों के साथ क्या चैलेंजेस हैं और कैसे हम इन चैलेंजेस को फेस कर सकते हैं, आप उसमें क्या कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हो, इस पे हम आगे बात करेंगे। अभी के लिए इतना ही, धन्यवाद।
Good morning. It is my absolute pleasure to be here today among this august gathering and such distinguished speakers. So very warm greetings to everyone present here. The 10th sustainability goal is reduced inequality, and to be more precise, reduce inequality amongst and within countries. We all know that in this world all kinds of inequalities do exist. Inequalities amongst the countries. There are countries which are very prosperous. There are countries which are severely underdeveloped. Within societies also, we see all kinds of inequalities, economic inequalities, inequality pertaining to gender, caste, creed, etc., etc. It is not possible that in this world everybody can have the same income, same opportunity, and can be at a equal this thing. And that is not the point, and that is not the goal. But the point of grave concern is that this divide is wide. Not just wide, very wide. Wide to an extent that there are people who can or do spend, thousands and lakhs of rupees for a single day meal. And there are people जिनके लिए रोज पेट भर खाना भी नसीब नहीं. So the major grave concern over here is that this wider gap has to be reduced. There would be some gap, but not this wide. This is not acceptable. Now, as many of the panelists did say, that a lot of work is being done at the international forums by the governments, but that is not enough. We as individuals also have to contribute. And I very strongly feel that we would be able to contribute only when we are able to relate to the problem. We are able to have the empathy. We are able to, relate to the pain. I would request all of you to just imagine. Try to put yourself in a situation when you see a person walking into a posh restaurant and you know that they'll be served, all kinds of delicacies, half eaten, half wasted. And you are standing out there just struggling to get something so that you can just kill your hunger. Try to put yourself in a situation where a person is standing out, you are standing outside this auditorium envying all these wonderful students who have the opportunity to study, to participate and contribute into this wonderfully organized symposium, and you don't have the opportunity to go and study and can be part of it. It is necessary for us to feel the pain of those who are not, or at a stage where the opportunities are almost nil. So first thing that we need to do is to be able to understand the pain of those who are at a situation which is a very I would say painful, and sometimes if we don't try to put ourselves, we may not even realize that what that pain is, because we never have gone through that particular pain. So I would start with this point. This is the initial remark that I would make, with the hope that Margie madam will give me another minute at the second round, where I will be wanting to get something from you, and I would like to say something as to what we as individuals should do for it. Okay. Thank you so much.
My dear students and dignitaries on the stage, this is a very interesting event that has been organized. Particularly it is interesting because it is with the youth, because most of us sitting here have seen half of our life, and the remaining
Margie, can you speak?
and the remaining generations, you have to see a lot more than what we have seen. So sustainable development goals is something which is much more valuable to you than for us. The magic of sustainable development goals is that if you work for one goal, you are able to meet many other goals. So all of these goals are sort of so much interlinked, and that is how it has been designed, that you need not do much of efforts to attain many goals. That is the magic of all the 17 goals. Now my goal is to talk about sustainable cities and communities, and me and the university, that is CEPT University, we work very closely with the cities, and we deal with the routine problems of the cities, and more than that, the strategic problems that the cities face. So it's a very gloomy state of affairs. It is a very painful state of affairs. It is not at all very happy. Those of us who are at a distance and don't know about it, we cannot even imagine what we are going to see in the times to come, because climate change is a very big reality. We are struggling, the whole world for that matter, we are struggling to attain a temperature level of 2.5 degrees below the industrialized level. So we are currently operating at 1.3 degrees. You might have seen, अचानक से सर्दी हो जाती है, अचानक से गर्मी लगने लगती है, बारिश हो जाती है. These are all climate changes, repercussions of climate changes that are happening. And the consequences are immense, because 2.5 degree के ऊपर जाते ही the extinction of mankind starts happening. So we won't be able to bear the changes that the climate is going to present us. And that is why you might have been seeing that there are a lot of policies that the government of India is coming up, which is towards sustainability. And all those policies boil down to cities. So sustainable cities is the melting point of all the sustainable development goals, most of the sustainable development goals. So, because of the limited time that has been given to me, I would like to ask you one question, that cities are made up of whom all? Who makes the cities? All of us. You and me, all of us. right? So I want to ask you, today when you started from your home as a responsible citizen, what have you done? How do you behave in public places as a responsible citizen? How do we treat our public assets? So I was talking to Vijay Nehra, who was the municipal commissioner, and he was a very aggressive and bold municipal commissioner of the city of Ahmedabad. So he was telling me, Mercy, my 3,000 municipal workers, sweepers of the city, they start early in the morning cleaning the cities. And there is 60 lakh population waging a war against my municipal sweepers. How do you think that we would be clean? So to become sustainable, one of the beginning points is to be clean. So what are we doing? Go around, take a round of your university, you can make out how much clean you have kept your premises. We keep our homes very clean. But the problem for our citizens is that our basic civic sense is extremely missing. Very sorry to say, including me, our basic civic sense is missing. Right? How many of you sitting here, you know who your ward corporators are, to whom you can go and talk? How many of you know who is the mayor of our city? So, there is a lot that needs to be done, but the beginning point can be the civic sense, which individually we can do a lot, but together as a community we can achieve much more, and that is why the goal is called Sustainable Cities and Communities. Thank you.
Friends, I have a problem with these goals because I think most of these goals are long term. They are not short term. So, for example, India has announced that it will be net zero in 2070. Now we are in 2023. If I add, I'm 44 years old. So if I add another 47 years to my age, I will be 91 years old. And Narendra Modi ji, who has announced this, will be 119 years old in 2070. Now I know that he is not going to live that long. Neither am I going to live that long. Because the rate at which, the pace at which we are taking climate action activities will not allow me to live till 91. So there is a question here that are these goals such that we need to reset them, and all we can spare is another 5 years. Whichever government comes and goes, all they have is 5 more years to bring a net zero India, because a net zero India will be a very beautiful India, the one we saw during Corona, when the global temperature fell and all of us felt that this is the kind of life we want to live. But when we are not going to be alive till 2070, then we won't be alive to see that beautiful day. And so, my goal, which is about responsible producers and responsible consumers, will be very relevant, because we don't know what the next government, whoever it is, will do. But yes, the onus is on the producers and us, the consumers.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your respected eminent persons on the dais and my dear friends. A very good morning to all of you. I am going to talk a little more today about the climate action. That is what I am supposed to be talking about. But that is not alone. All of them who are talking right now were all related to climate. But if I ask you, friends, climate, what it has to do with me? आज ठंड है स्वेटर पहन लो, कल गर्मी है एसी चला लो. मैं क्या करूं? What can I do? But small changes. If I am saying that the temperature in 200 years has risen, but in the same amount, that 1% which has risen in the past 200 years, in the last 40 years, the same trend has been there. High temperature. अब 0.2 Fahrenheit बढ़ भी जाएगा तो मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? If that is going to be our approach, then we are in a very sad state. Because whatever we are doing, this is not a local or a regional or a national phenomena. This is a global phenomena. It is कि अरे अमेरिका में लोग ज़्यादा कार चलाते हैं, ज़्यादा AC यूज़ करते हैं, इसलिए CFC बढ़ रहे हैं. ओजोन लेयर में होल हो गया है, लेकिन हमारे ऊपर थोड़ी हुआ है. Right? This is what we think. But it is giving us such drastic results. So our actions are bringing a reaction. Mother Earth is fed up. Enough is enough. Somewhere we have to wake up to the fact कि हम जो आज कर रहे हैं, this is going to have repercussions. And we have to think beyond our lives for that. It is not कि हमारे 100 साल जी लेने से ये change होने निकलेगा. But this is happening. This is happening at a very fast pace. Suppose we talk about the zero poverty or zero hunger thing. Now, if you continue to add pesticides and herbicides and have the high yielding varieties, we have the genetic modified crops and all, but where is it leading us? Are we really, do we want to go into that direction? Because you all understand that जो भी आप डाल रहे हो, farmer जो भी डाल रहा है खेत में, that is going to come back to us. Either we are going to eat it. We all know that there are pesticide residues in all our foods. It is going to go into the groundwater. The whole ecosystem will suffer because of it. And this will lead to the climate change. The heavy amount of heat which we are producing, the vehicles which we are using is creating this thick blanket all around the earth, which is bringing about this climate change, and it is happening so much faster. So every one of us has to be aware of it. That is important. Once we are aware of it, of each and everything that we are doing is going to come back to us. That is what we must think of. So when we talk of RRR, it is not the movie. It was a wonderful movie, but RRR here means that you have to reuse, reduce and recycle. Somewhere stop using plastic, because like Madam said, COVID times, we all saw the difference. Everybody saw dolphins dancing. Everybody saw a whole new earth, a beautiful nature. And we want to be there. And we want to continue it to be there for our next generation too. So climate change is happening and we have to be aware of it. We should not be thinking that this will happen in future. हम क्या करें? हमें ही करना है जो करना है. Right, friends? Okay, thank you so much.
So, hi everybody, a very good morning and Kencho, right? So, thank you. So, my goal is today, what I'm talking on about is life below water, right? And so, it's first of all the good wishes for this, promising 2023 as we are, winner of this, COVID situation. So, we are proud enough that Homo sapiens win the war against the COVID, right? But yes, why this SDGs? Again, the same thing. ये जो सारे problem हैं, वो हमने ही तो create किए, right or wrong? So we all know the problem, and yes, of course, we all know the solutions also, right? What I mean to say, yes. So here in opening remark, I just simply say it's really important about the awareness come responsibilities, right? As we have saw in the movie Spider-Man, right? So whenever the power comes, it comes with the responsibilities, right? So this word is very important. Here in, I would like to say one short story kind of thing, today morning just I have, come across. So after Buddha, when we get up in the morning, हम जब उठते हैं उससे पहले हमें एक आवाज सुनने को मिलती है ना? आपको किसकी आवाज सुनने को मिलती है? मम्मी की, और हॉस्टल में रहते हो आपके कलीग की, और वो दे जा सब टाइम दे गए, यस और नो? और हमें सुनने मिलती कि बच्चों की पापा उठो, right? And yes, on the second note we have a very another sound, right? For what? स्वच्छता का अभियान है ना, पूरा करना है. And yes, on the same time घर में competition start हो जाती है, yes? कौन जाएगा कचरा डालने? And आवाज शुरू हो जाता है कि कचरा वाड़ो आयो, yes or no? So जैसे ही हम बोलेंगे आज in the morning only my son reached, mentioned me, पापा कचरो तो काले कमे करता था, So it's really appealing, कचरा वालों कौन है? He or me? they are really the cleaner, they are really the community helper, right? So we are the kachrawala, right? We are doing the garbage, right? And what is this kachro, right? And yes, of course, nowadays, every kachro, every waste is, end up in where? In the ocean, right? And as said in our, Sanskruti, in our culture, pani. So pani is the great tattva that we have to respect. And yes, whatever the things, and Raja said, Ahmedabadi, jo pani nahi hoye, to pani puri pan nahi hoye, pakodi pan nahi hoye, golgappa pan nahi hoye. So we have to take care of this, water at all, right? And ultimately, what I mean to say here is ultimately things is all about the responsibilities with the awareness that helps. So in the concluding at the last, I must say, let be the part of the solution, not the problem. Let India, we be the harbinger in this sustainability development. So thank you, and we'll talk on the issues. Yes, I just narrate the issues because we have only created the issues, so we all know the issues. And yes, nowadays we also have the solutions, because we are the last generation, I must say, the Homo sapiens sapiens. Soon we have this Homo evolus with the AI, artificial intelligence, and the IA, intelligence augmentation. So we are the last one of the Homo sapiens sapiens, and yes, we must take the responsibility, we must take care of this nature, and must think who is the boss, And yes, हम जिस ऑफिस में अभी है वो बॉस के पास बहुत सारे काम है, उसको काफी सारे तत्व, काफी सारी चीजें संभालनी है. And here I am talking of the boss, the nature, right? And yes, boss is always right. Thank you, everybody.
Good morning, all of you. So, first of all, I am thank you to the DPTG team for giving me such opportunity for the discussion about the various sustainable development goals. And my topic regarding to that, life on land. So generally, when we are talking about the life, so not we are talking only about on this earth planet, but we are searching and finding also on the other planets, so like Moon and Mars. So generally, on the land portion, mostly the life belongs to various living organisms. But the SDGs goals were in the past reports, and the last report which I published on the 7th July 2022. So generally in this report of the 17 SDGs, so where the concern with the life on land, mostly the targeted area, where we are talking about the various kind of forest on land, various biodiversity on these land portions, and also we are talking about the ecosystem. So here we are sitting in this Senate hall, where we are all these living bodies, and surrounding us where the air conditioned, light, and all these abiotic factors, which makes a Senate hall ecosystem. So likewise, as in laboratory, that a test tube where the microbes or microorganisms which are cultured in test tube, the test tube ecosystem is there. Our whole, the earth, which are a planet, it's itself an ecosystem. And various parts, either it is a water bodies like the fresh water, maybe saline water, where the sea or ocean or estuarine, or in the fresh water like this rivers, springs, wells, pond, lakes. So these are all these ecosystems that we are having in nature. Also, we are talking about the terrestrial ecosystem where the land part is there. And on the surface of this land part, mainly the forest area. Generally, when we are seeing the Google Earth map, so green color portions we say, which are categorized as a forest part. So generally in a past report, where the different countries or different location on the earth, where in the world, 2.5% decrease of the forest land. As far as the report is concerned, 10 billion hectares of the forest area which are decreased by this urbanization process, industrialization process, or maybe any other this human being activity of the degradation of this forest land. So generally, targeted part where the forest is concerned, because at the green cover area where the larger amount of the trees of linas which are growing in natural condition, we are saying it is for rest. But now as a living organism and as an intellectual person, human being, we are make it for rest. So whenever we are tired from our work and then we have need some kind of this space, or we are targeted that this kind of forest area we have to visit it. So in the Gujarat part, when we are talking that many forest land where we have visited, and by means of this ecotourism, we develop this many other this ecotourism portions where they degrade the forest portion. But now our Prime Minister, those who have tried to be in this tribal forest part where they have this agriculture cropland also. So in this forest part, the agriculture land portion that we have to increase in this part. Also we are thinking about this biodiversity, because each and every living organism, either it is a microscopic, like this dinoflagellate to the dinosaurs. Mostly some of these species which have been extinct, but some species which are in the endangered or rare category. So we have to protect. So by means of this various kind of these national parks and sanctuaries and others, wildlife conditional, where this, when you move up to the northern eastern portion, you found out the rhinoceros there. Because the adaptation of that living part is there. Asiatic lion is only in our gay portion, because the surrounding ecosystem or environment which are being for this particular wild animals. So mostly the wild or maybe domestic animals, any kind of this microorganisms which are growing there, mostly the living organisms which live together. Mostly they are helpful, which are harmless, but some of them are also the harmful conditions. Like past 3 years, we are aware that mostly the COVID-19 conditions and the coronavirus, that we are aware about this, the micro part of this living organism where the RNA and surrounding protein are concerned. So from this tiny, particularly this living organism to macro living organism, we have to think about it. So in the biodiversity concern, where all these virus, bacteria, fungi as a pathogen, also we are talking about the algae, bryophyte, pterophyte, angiosperm, gymnosperm. So in this land portion in the forest area, various kind of plants which are growing there, which are called these primary producers, which convert the sun energy to solar energy to the particularly store the reserve food energy. And mostly the plant part which are the help of this energy in their physiological activity, and they restore food material for us. So neither as far as the concern with the life is concerned, so we are mostly we are beneficial from that product. So forest, minor and major products which we have. So various ecosystem, mountain ecosystem there, desert ecosystem there, also the urban ecosystem there, village ecosystem there, agriculture ecosystem there. So from this various ecosystem, we have tried to protect all this biodiversity or maybe biodiversity living organism. કહેવાનું ઘણું બધું છે goal વિશે. From 2050 to 2030 the action plan, and halfway which we are coming here, and various reports may be published by the 169 targets and more than 3,000 events which are going for this SDGs. પણ લાઈફ ઓન લેન્ડ વિશે કહેવું હોય તો આપણા કવિ અને ગુજરાત યુનિવર્સિટીના ચોથા વાઇસ ચાન્સેલર શ્રી ઉમાશંકર જોશીજી, જેમની એક પંક્તિ યાદ આવે છે ખાસ કરીને કે 3 વાના મુજને મળ્યા હૈયો મસ્તક અને હાથ, બહુ દીધું છે નાથ, જા હવે ચોથું નથી માંગવું, પણ આપણું જે જીવન છે એમાં અનંત દિશે દસે દિશા. એટલે આપણે બધી જ જગ્યાએ બધું જ મેળવવા પ્રાપ્ત કરીએ છીએ, તો આપણે ખાસ કરીને જે અમૂલ્ય જીવન આપણને મળ્યું છે, દરેક જીવન એ આપણા માટે ઉપયોગી છે. અને એકબીજાને ઇમ્પેરિંગ આ જીવન એ આપણા માટે ઉપયોગી બની રહે અને વર્ષો વર્ષ સુધી આ ટકી રહે એવી એક અભ્યર્થના આજના આ ગોલ્સના ચર્ચામાં હું કરી રહ્યો છું. થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ.
With apology, two of our panelists are time bound and they need to leave. तो आप અને मैडम जो quickly आपનું opening statement કરી દો, so we will be able to give them a chance to elaborate on their statements before they leave. Thank you.
Now my topic is peace, justice and institution. Now, the human is such a type of being that kills the same fellow. Lion never kill lion, tiger never kill tiger, but human kills human as well as the other animal. So why peace is required? Because we see, generally we use the peace word, rest in peace, when someone passed away. But we should live in peace. How it can be possible? This is the most important thing. Peace is disturbed due to the human activities. We reach to the Mars and Moon, but we never reach to our neighbor. So it is a war between the greed and need. If we satisfied our need, then there is no need of any war. And war starting from Battle of Salferino, 1859 to this Ukraine and Russia. Why? What is the purpose of the war? Why? And so the greatest warrior, the Alexander Great said, after my death, my hand should be kept out of the coffin, so whole world come to know the greatest warrior was passed with bare-handed. We know the truth, but we can't follow it. We only know the letter, not the spirit. And justice. What is justice? It is not just is. It should be justice. Why injustice took place? There are two reasons are there. One is greed and one is corruption. If we remove the two evils from the world, then everybody can be happy. And if we are not protecting the environment, then they will came. We should be die for the ecocide, not for any other reason. So the purpose is to create an awareness. Now what is the awareness? Let's start from myself. So how I can helpful to my fellow being, how I can save the environment, how I can discharge my duty. We are much worried about my right, but not worried about my duty. So if we are the duty conscious, so the one philosopher say, let become a slave of law, then there is no slavery will be available anywhere in the planet. Thank you.
Good morning to all of you, but now it's going to be good noon. Yeah, I congratulate all the panelists who have talked about their individual goals in a very empathetic manner, showing concern about the goals. So give a big hand to all the 16 goals. Yeah, the sustainable development goals are developed because of the success of the Millennium Development Goals. Now, looking to the success of Millennium Development Goals and through which some developing countries benefited a lot, so certain new areas were included in the Sustainable Development Goals, such as financial equality, innovativeness, peace and prosperity, and partnerships. Okay. Now, earlier we viewed partnerships as a goal to achieve socio-economic development goals. But now, in this Sustainable Development Goals, partnership is one of the goals. For what? For effective implementation of all the 16 goals. Now, why so partnership has been made one of the goals for the achievement of the 16 developmental goals? Why? As Mr. Manish said, Mr. Tripathi, you are very well said. Even ma'am said, you said. All these goals are interlinked with each other. Right? As they are interlinked with each other, the solution has to be developed with partnership among all the stakeholders of those particular goals. Now, for example, we would like to achieve economic growth. That is the objective. Every country would like to achieve economic growth. Every country would like to achieve industrialization. okay, and thereby achieve the economic growth. But without meeting what is the challenges of hunger, poverty, inequality, then imagine what kind of world will be in the future. Mahatma Gandhi has very well said that one should be taking care of the world which we will not see. So we have to care about the world which we will not see. So that's why partnership as goals have been developed so that effective implementation of these goals can be achieved. Another aspect, why do we need partnerships? For example, climate change is a global phenomenon. It doesn't affect us individually, not the governments individually, but the businesses, everyone, all the communities, all the stakeholders it affects. So all stakeholders have to come together to develop solutions for that. For example, innovation, we think it is innovation is for universities and business to research. But it has to come from globally, from all the communities together to see that innovation takes place for the solution of these problems. For example, gender inequality. We might think that it is concerned with communities. It is concerned with legislation also. So we need inclusive partnership, having shared values, shared mission, shared goals, keeping in center people, planet, and peace at the individual level, national level, and the global level. And what can be done for these partnerships to grow and help in the achievement of the other goals, we will discuss later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Coming over to the panelists who are time bound, I must leave by 12:30. So, sir,